Mr. Anupam for today's session. I heartily welcome you all. I also extend my warm welcome to our Honorable Principal of Vivek College of Commerce, Dr. Vijeta Shetty ma'am. I also welcome our invited faculties, Anuja Narvankar ma'am, Anupama Bali ma'am, Dr. Tangadurai sir, and Lubina Gonzalez ma'am for this session. I would also like to welcome our students for this session. Now I would like to invite Madhya Sheikh to please take over the session.
Hello everyone, a very good morning. I am Madhya Sheikh. I am here to give an introduction on Vivek College of Commerce, Meraki, Reincubation and Incubation Center, and also our speaker, Mr. Anubhav Dushta. Vivek Education Society is a charitable institution set up in the year 1961 and established Vivek Vidyalaya in 1962 and followed it up by starting junior college. Vivek College of Commerce was started in the year 1986. It is recognized as a vibrant institution working continuously for the cause of education. Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center was firstly known as ESEL, that is Entrepreneurship Cell. It was started on 11th December 2018 and later got developed into Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center on 20th December 2021. Vivek College of Commerce is the first college in Maharashtra to inaugurate an incubation center under MITSC, that is Maharashtra Information Technology Support Center. We have registered ourselves under Ministry of Education Institution Innovation Council, in which we have successfully completed and approved all our quarter 1 and 2 activities. Under IIC, we also have utter tinkering lab scheme in which we do mapping in different schools. Let us now talk about Mr. Anubhav Dushta, Senior Analyst at Vivek and Senior Associate at United Lex. He completed his BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering. He is certified as Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Foundation 2020 Associate. He was also selected in top 30 students for 11 months free residential coaching in Abhayanand Super 30 product run by Center for Social Responsibility and Leadership and was ranked first in school on the basis of 10th and 12th board results. Accomplished IB and professional certificates for data science courses offered by Coursera. Now, I would like Mr. Anubhav Dushta to please take over.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sure. So this session is about patents. So we will cover basics of patent in this session. So please try to keep the session interactive. I mean, you can ask questions in between. So if anyone of you having any question, because you can ask later on as well, but if you have some questions in between, because later on you might forget. So, and it will be better for your correlation. So if something you are not understanding. Yeah. So I will start with the basics of patent. And first of all, what is actually a patent? What a patent contains? So patent is nothing but grant of a right that is given to the person who invents a particular thing. But this right is given for a limited period of time. So if you have invented something, you can file for the patent for that particular invention, and you will be granted right, exclusive right. The right of patent is exclusive. So it excludes other apart from you to exploit or use that invention for commercial purposes. So that's what the patent is. And it is granted for a limited term. So for example, in US, utility patent is granted for a tenure of 20 years. So after that period, the patent will get expired. So this is done to promote research and development as well, because if you exclude others, public, from exploiting or using a particular invention for an unlimited period of time, then...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
It will be great if you turn on your camera.
Can you please repeat? Your voice is a bit breaking.
Can you please repeat? Sir, will you please turn on your camera?
Yeah, sure, I'll do. Okay. So is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
So yeah. So the patent is granted for a limited term. So as I was mentioning, because you can exclude others from using a particular invention because you have invented something. So it's your right on that particular invention to use that. But it can't be done for an unlimited period of time, because then it will demotivate research and development in that technology area. So there has to be certain limitations. So one limitation is about the time period, and other limitations comes in terms of domain of the technology that is captured by the patent. So you can't be covering everything in your patent. So you will get only one patent for one invention. So that's another thing. So the boundaries and bounds of the invention of the patent are decided. So you can't be exploiting, you can't be using your patent beyond what you have invented. So now next thing is what are the categories of inventions for which you will get patent. So your invention should be new and it should be useful to the public. So it can't be something like which already exists, or which has already been patented. So it should be new. So first criteria is simple. And then it should have some applicability to the public. So it should have something useful in it. And the categories for which you can get patent, there are four basic categories. First of all, it can be a process. So you can invent a process and get a patent for it. Another one, it can be a machine. So suppose you have invented a machine and it's new and it's useful, so you can get a patent for that as well. And another two categories are manufacture or composition of matter. So manufacture is something, suppose you are manufacturing an article from some raw materials. So for that as well, you can get patent. After that, as I mentioned, the composition of matter. So there can be chemical or mechanical compositions. Suppose you have invented a drug. So there can be composition of the drug. Suppose a drug A contains some ingredients B, C, and D. So for that as well, you can get the patent. And it can be a mechanical composition, or other compositions like gases, fluids, powders. If those are new and useful, you can get patent for that as well. But there are some things for which you can't get patent. So there are some categories which are called as judicial exceptions. So suppose uh, some scientist has discovered a law of nature. So you have heard about Newton's first law of motion, second law of motion, third law of motion. Maybe you may not have heard, but uh, there are some other laws of nature as well, which scientists have discovered at times. So but they don't get don't get patents for those, because discovery is something which already exists in the nature. It's just that you are the one who could discover that. So you won't get patent for that. So other things are natural phenomena, the events that occur naturally, like Albert Einstein, who discovered photoelectric effect. So he did not get patent for that. Although he got recognition, the one who discovered the photoelectric effect, but he can't get patent for that. So other things are theoretical ideas or abstract ideas. Suppose you have something new in your mind which is just based on theory. So there is no practical applicability to that. So you won't get patent for that as well. So is everything clear up till here, or any doubts from any of you?
It's clear, sir.
Okay, sure. So another thing, the types of patent. So basically there are three types of patent. Firstly, utility patent, then design patent, and then plant patent. So utility patent is basically, suppose you have invented some something, you have done some invention in some technology domain, and or any improvement thereof you have done. So you can get utility patent for that. So suppose there is some industrial applicability associated with the invention. So you are trying to get patent for application part of that particular thing. So you can file for utility patent. But next is design patent. So some patents are associated with design of a particular product, like uh, you have a product, but you are not trying to get the patent for the process of manufacturing of that product. Rather, you are trying to get patent for the design that is associated with it. Like you can get patent for shoes, for design of a particular type of shoes. So suppose Adidas having specific types of shoes, and if they invent some sort of shoes which has better stiffness or better comfort, and something new is associated with the Adidas shoes, then they can file for design patent for those shoes. So it can be for other products as well, like it can be for some medical instrument, a design of a medical instrument. So if a medical instrument is having such a design which is new, and it in terms allows it to be inserted in a specific manner into the body of a patient, then that can be patented under design patent. Also, you can get patent for plants as well. So suppose if you have uh, hybridize some plant in your laboratory, and it is having something new in it, so the process or anything new in it, you can get plant patent for that. So as I mentioned, that the invention that you are applying for patent, it should be new or novel. So what are the criterias for the invention to be new or novel? First of all, it should not be described in a patent earlier before you file it. So another thing is it should not be described in a printed publication. So there are some research paper associated with a particular invention that you are trying to file patent for. So you can't get patent for that. So you need to check that thoroughly. So if already something existing that can be patent or that can be printed application, so you won't be able to get patent for that. And another thing is it should not be in public use before the filing date of, before effective filing date of the patent. So suppose it's not being patented earlier, but someone is using it commercially or normally. So even in that case, you won't get patent. Or it is being or it is being on sale. If something has been already selling in some market, so you won't get patent for that as well. Or in any manner, if something is available to the public, in that case even you won't get the patent. Another thing is that patent is a jurisdiction specific property. So suppose you have filed for a patent in US, so you would get rights for that patent only in US. So you won't have any other rights in any other country like in India, China. So if you want to claim rights for that patent in other jurisdiction as well, you need to file corresponding patents in those countries as well, and for which you are given a grace period. So suppose any inventor in US invents something new idea, and he files for a patent in a patent application in US, then he has a grace period of 1 year from which he can file in other countries. So suppose he plans to file in India after filing in US. So anything before the filing date in India, any prior art or printed publication patents won't be considered as prior art. So its filing date will be effectively the filing date of that US patent that he earlier filed. So this date is also called as priority date. So even in other countries, he can file multiple applications for the patent. So an example for this is, suppose a company A files a patent for a particular product in US, and someone else in India is also using that invention or that technology in India for his own commercial purpose or personal purpose. So that's fine. He's not violating the rights of that patent because its jurisdiction is only in US. So that thing is there. But the patent that is in US, so any other person is excluded from using that invention in the US. So suppose if a mobile phone, there is a patent for a mobile phone in US. So the characteristics or features of that patent cannot be incorporated or used by any other third person by using those things in his own product. So that thing is there. So it excludes others from using that invention. So for that, the owner of the patent or the assignee of the patent can file for the patent lawsuit against that person who is using that invention without his permission. So alternatives for those can be like he can get license for using that invention from that particular owner or assignee of the patent. That license can be assigned for a limited period of time. So but for which we will have to pay the money or the fees necessary royalty to the owner or assignee of the patent. So even if so actually there is this monetization part also linked with the patents. So when a company is having some patent in a particular jurisdiction, then that company tries to monetize that patent in a manner, so that company tries to find the targets that can be captured for infringement of the patent. So suppose other companies are using that invention that is already patented by the that company. So some other companies are using, so that owner company tries to find such targets which are illegally using that invention and extort money from them. So the owner of the patent will try to find those other companies and will tell them that, see, you are using my invention in this manner, and they will provide evidence for that. So claim charts prepared for that thing. So evidences are provided, and the company is warned that you are using illegally this invention, and either you take license from us or you will have to pay this much royalty. If you don't do that, we will file lawsuit against you. So those are the legal repercussions of illegally using someone's invention that is already patented. Okay, so next thing we will talk about flow, how the patenting process works. So first of all, some inventor will have some idea in his mind. So that idea will be in raw form. So he will first have to document down that idea, write down that idea, and then he can actually do some preliminary search on that idea. So he will try to find any patents or printed literature available in the public domain before the date from which he filed from which he got that idea. So he will try to find those prior arts, those literature. So he will do some sort of preliminary search for that. So such arts that exist before the idea, before the invention. So those arts are referred to as prior arts. So suppose something you have invented some product or some process, but after conducting preliminary research, you found that someone else has already done research on that thing, or someone else has already patent corresponding to the invention that you are trying to invent. So that would be considered as prior art. So what you will do after that, you will try to tweak your invention in a manner so that it does not collide, or it does not superimpose with the prior art. So you will try to tweak it in a manner such that it is new or it is distinct from the prior art. You will do that. Okay. And after that, if you are sure that now your invention is very clear and there are no prior arts associated and it is now new, so you can file for the patent in a patent office. So it is jurisdiction specific. Suppose if you want to file for the patent in US, you will go to US patent office. You want to file in India, you will go to Indian patent office. So that's no problem there. And then examiners in that patent office will examine your patent applications for possible flaws or possible violations of laws, and will basically will analyze the application in a manner that if it is new or if it is novel, if it is has industrial applicability, or does it contain some matter which are incorporated under excluded categories that I mentioned earlier on. The invention might be directed to laws of nature, it might be directed to natural phenomena, abstract ideas, and all of those. So all of this analysis will be done by the patent office itself. So this process is called as patent prosecution. So the patent office examiners in the patent office, they prosecute your application, and they will give you some rejections or some objections corresponding to that application, and you would have to rectify those objections or rejections and proceed further on patent prosecution. So that was here. Now I would like to show you by sharing my screen that how does a patent look like, so that you can have a feeler and you can see how it is. Hello, is my screen visible to all on some big screen or some projector?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, sure. So here I have opened a patent on Google Patents. So Google Patents is a basically a free database of patents upon which all related data to patents, associated documents are stored. So this is, you can see Google Patents right here. So you can just do Google search and you can type the query Google Patents, you will retrieve it. And you will get such an interface where you can insert the patent number. So every patent is having a certain patent number associated with it to uniquely identify it. So here I have entered the patent number on this search query box. So I will show you the different parts of the patent document. So basically, when you invent something, when you have invention in your possession and you went to filing for the patent office, then patent office will need to see whether you are in the possession of the invention or not. So you will have to submit the invention in written form. So you can't just verbally say that you have invented something and you will get patent for that. You will have to do the written part of it as well. So that's what I'm showing you, all of you here. So first of all, you can see this patent is having a title, Performance Information Sharing Systems and Method. So this is title. It briefly describes what is your invention directed towards. This thing is here. Then abstract. So abstract, you can write it in your own words and within the limit of 150 words, and briefly describing the invention that you find that so some third person is looking at your patent. So by reading abstract, you should be sure about what is going to be contained in this patent. So he should get that idea. So then next thing is the claims of the patent. So claim is the most important part of a particular patent. Actually, claims are referred to as heart and soul of the patent. It basically defines the boundary for the patent. So as I mentioned earlier that you can't have a patent where you are capturing a very big domain in your invention. So you should have only one invention and for which you will get patent. You can't file, you can't have multiple inventions incorporated in one patent. For that, for multiple inventions, you will have to file multiple patents. So definitely you will have to give fees for multiple patents. More will be the fees. So you can't incorporate all of your inventions in one patent. So there will be the boundaries will be decided, and that those boundaries will be decided by the claims of the patent. So there are two types of claim in the patent. First one is independent claim, others are dependent claim. So the claim one here you can see it's a method claim, a method for sharing information about a first individual, so on, up till here, first information. So this is an independent claim. Independent claim means that this claim is not dependent on any other claim for its reference. It acts independently. It has its legal power, enforcement power independently. Suppose you can see other claims like claim 2 here. So this is the method of claim 1, wherein determining the first performance information comprises so on up till here. So here it is seen that the method of claim 1. So this claim 1, so this claim 2 is derived from claim 1, right? So this is dependent on claim 1. So what does claim 2 contains? It will contain all the elements of claim 1 along with the claim element that is described in here claim 2. So it will be bigger claim than claim 1. It will have more number of limitations than claim 1. So first of all, we will see this independent claim. You can see here is a method for sharing information about a first individual who has engaged in a or engaging in a first physical activity the method comprises. So this part that I have highlighted here is referred to as preamble of the patent. As you would have seen the preamble of Constitution. So the same thing is here for the claim, that is the preamble that broadly describes the claim. Then there will be further limitations for the claim. You can see here determining first information, wirelessly transmitting, receiving first information. So whatever is your actual invention, whatever you have actually invented, that will be described in claims. But in other parts of the invention, like in description of the invention that is in the left side, you can contain information that is not novel. You can give information to support your claims here. So that is compulsory. So suppose I read about this claim, but I should also provide explanation to this claim. So description about this claim, that how this claim is gonna work. What are the parts of performing this method? What are different steps? You will have to describe that broadly. You will have to give each and every detail how this claim will come into function. So all of that detail will be given uh, in this part here. I'm just scrolling down. So here is the detailed description of the invention. So you will describe in detail all of your invention here. Suppose you have different claim elements, but how those elements will be supported, how those claim elements will function, what will be the working. You will have to give details in the detailed description. Suppose you can see a method for sharing information about a first individual. So, but how the information will be shared? Will it be shared over Wi-Fi, over Bluetooth, or any other network, over internet? So what will be the means of sharing that particular invention? All of those things will be described in detail in the detailed description part, and that is compulsory. So you should be in the possession of your invention. That's why you will have to give details about that. Then other parts here. So you will have to describe background of the invention. So in background, you basically give introduction about the technology domain. Suppose this technology is directed towards performance or athletic information sharing. So actually this patent relates to suppose an athlete is doing some physical activity, some exercise. So he will be wearing some equipment like some health watch or other sensors in his body. So all of the information, physiological or biological information, will be collected by those sensors from his body and will be transmitted or shared with a remote server or with any other individual like his coach or any other person. So this patent is related to this technology. So in field of the invention or in background of the invention, you will introduce your technology domain. You won't be capturing your invention in background, right? So you can't capture your invention in this part. You have to capture the prior arts or background arts in this part. So if you try to, if you mistakenly put some part of your invention in this part, in background part, then that part will be considered as prior art. So it would be considered as already existing art. So you should be very careful about this, that whatever you have invented, whatever is your actual invention, you need to incorporate that in your claims. Don't ever mistakenly put that in background part. Background part is just a brief introduction towards the technology domain, not towards your invention that you actually invented. So suppose, as I mentioned, that this patent is directed towards sharing information about fitness information or other information about an athlete. So you can just briefly mention in background section that there are certain devices associated for capturing that fitness information, physiological information, how that information is captured. So whatever you think is already known to public, or you just want to, you just want to know the reader about the technology domain, you just capture that in your background art. Okay, so then comes brief summary of the invention. So it is very simple to draft brief summary. What you will do here, whatever you have described in your claims, you will paraphrase that in the summary part. So actually, the claims are the legal part of the patent. So you will have to be very careful about while drafting these claims, because these claims are the drafted in a legal language. So legal language means each and every word that is written here will have its specific meaning. So you can't just randomly put any word that comes to your mouth. You should be very conscious while drafting the claim, because it will decide the boundary of your invention. So you can't exclude, you can't exceed that boundary. So mhm. So suppose here the claim element generating a visual display based on the first performance information. Just refer to this claim element. So it's saying that visual display would be generated. So visual display, what can the visual display contain? It can be LCD, it can be a desktop monitor, it can be some other sort of display like smartphone display or any other big screen. But the thing here is that it will be interpreted only, so the definition of this particular term visual display will be interpreted from whatever you have described in detailed description. Suppose you have said that visual display contains a desktop monitor. If you describe that in your detailed description, so it will be interpreted only to contain desktop monitor and not any other sort of displays. So you would have to be very clear about whatever you claim here. You would have to specify what that particular term or that particular word can contain. So you will have to summarize your claims in this summary part here. So you will just need to paraphrase those claims in your own language into this summary part. So because as you can see, this is a sort of legal language, a method for a first individual using a portable performance monitoring system to engage in a physical activity competition. So you can just write in summary that the patent describes a method for for an individual who is engaged in a physical activity competition, and the person is carrying a portable performance monitoring system with himself. So you can just write it in your own words in summary part. Okay, so other things about patent, you can see here inventor. So inventors are the persons who actually invented the invention. So there is, it's simple. And then you can see current assignee. Assignee is the person to which the not the person. Assignee is an entity to which the patent is assigned. Suppose these two inventors, Michael Ellis or Karen Schwartz, they are working in a particular company. So they are doing some invention, and company is funding for that invention. So that's why not only these two persons, these two inventors should have right on that patent, but that company would also have some rights in it, because they are providing funding, infrastructure, other things to these inventors for conducting research, for doing the invention, everything else. So that entity which is doing all of this would be considered as assignee. So obviously, while filing the patent, the applicant would have to mention all of these things, that who the inventors are and who the assignee is. So apart from that, you can see worldwide applications here. So what are the worldwide applications? So as I mentioned earlier that patents are jurisdiction specific. So you will file for a patent in US, you will get patent only in US. But what about other countries? You need protection there as well. Suppose if you need protection there as well, so you will file a different patent application in those countries. So all of those worldwide applications are listed here. So in 2002, the applicant filed applications in AU, Australia, EP, Europe, Canada, or applications in Australia, US, and other jurisdictions. So all of those applications are listed here. So it makes a big family of the patent. So that is also called as patent family. So there are many patents within the patent family. Those are the different patents that correspond to same technology or same invention, but in different jurisdictions. Okay, then there are certain dates associated with your patent. So as I mentioned earlier, that there is a priority date. Priority date is nothing but the effective filing date of the patent, as I was mentioning earlier. So suppose you file your first application is filed in US and you filed it on 20 February 2001. This is the origin of for your patent family. This is the first application of your patent family. So that date corresponding to that patent application would be the priority date. Suppose subsequently you file in other jurisdictions, like you file in Canada, etc. But the priority date would be the date on which you filed your first application in your first jurisdiction. So suppose you can see for this patent, uh, the application was filed by Adidas in 2013, but priority date is 2001. It means that there was an earlier application to this patent in some other jurisdiction, maybe, which was filed in 2001. So any doubt about patent or any other part here? We would be
Very good
concluding it
morning,
now.
sir. I'm Anuja Nalvante here. Hello, good morning, sir. It's Anuja Nalvante here.
Hello, hi, good morning.
So warm welcome to Meraki, Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center. And we are glad to have you here for our impact lecture series. Sir, I have a doubt. Since my students are very primary level, they are in undergraduate level, but they have a lot of aspirations. They want to learn all this, and they are planning for future in their future interviews, all these things. But basically, as they are very new to this particular concept of patents, how do we just help them that what should be the initial process? Like I have a business idea, I have developed a product. Now I am in dilemma that how should I go for a patent? So what is the first stage? What is the initial stage? And how do I approach? Do I have to hire a lawyer or a person expert in this? Or whom shall I approach first?
Okay, right. Thanks for your question. So suppose so it is for the students purpose, like if some students are trying to invent something, so they might need to approach some patent attorney at first. So for because while filing application in a particular patent office, you should have your legal representative, which is the patent attorney. So you would have to hire that person. So you can be the inventor of the invention, but the person who is going to represent you in the patent office or any other subsequent hurdles in court or during patent prosecution or other things, like if some lawsuit is filed against you or any other those things, so you should have your patent attorney for those representation purposes. And for other purposes, like for technology consulting purposes, you can refer to some company or some other technological consulting firm for some basic research about your invention. Like you have invented something, so you can approach independent professional IP or patent professionals for doing research work on your invention, whether your research is new, novel, or everything legal, or everything those for those aspects. You can also hire. You can also contact independent patent professionals as well to start with. But for representation purposes, later on, you would have uh, to contact the patent attorney.
So thank you so much for this valuable information. So here, as an incubation center in charge, if I need to have a contact with this patent experts, how do I approach? For example, we have an incubator right now, and he has developed a prototype. Now he is demanding that there's an incubation center. We should support his project, and we should go for patenting his product. So how will you just guide us with this thing?
Sorry, can you just repeat the last thing? So I got that someone has designed a prototype for a product.
Yes, sir. One of our incubatee
Okay.
has developed a prototype, and he wants to go for a patent of his product. So how do you guide us with this? We are incubation center, and he has approached us for patenting his product.
Sure. Actually, as he or she wants to file the patent for the invention, for the prototype that he has designed. So First of all, so everything, so is it in India? So he would have, he's trying to file patent for patent in India, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
sure.
He is
So,
very much Indian and he wants to file in India.
okay. So has he done preliminary search and everything on that design on the product? So about the features of the product, whether those features are new, novel. So is he aware about those considerations?
Yes, sir. He has done that research and everything is ready. Just now he wants to go for the patent.
Okay, okay. So for that, you would have to hire some patent attorney to represent in the patent office. So that's the main requirement here.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. There's another question coming, sir.
What will the cost involved in filing patent?
Actually, cost for filing patent is different in different jurisdictions. So for example, in US, it is quite higher. But in India, it is not that much because there are some government programs running in India, for example, for promoting research and development. Because as you would have seen, India is very well behind. I mean, lacking in terms of the number of patents that are filed annually in India. India is very behind in that. So for to promote patent culture in India, government is running various programs to support entrepreneurs and to support other research, individual researchers in India. So there are various schemes running in this perspective. So I think you can utilize or you can be benefited from those schemes. As of now, I'm not aware about those schemes because I mostly practice in US jurisdiction. So I'm more aware about US patent domain. But in India, we will have to check how much the cost actually is. But I can get back to you on this, uh, checking all of this cost and everything that is associated while filing patent. I can get back to you on this later. But definitely you should take benefit of those schemes that are there to promote research and patent culture in India.
Thank you so much, Anubhav sir, for this. Now, Dr. Puneet Kumar sir, you are here. We welcome you for this session today, and I would request Sneha to please take over.
Good morning, one and all. I, Ravina Jain, deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this event on behalf of Vivek College of Commerce. I take this opportunity to propose a humble thanks to all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to our session organized by Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center of Vivek College of Commerce. At the outset, I wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Anubhav Justa, for accepting our invitation and giving us your valuable time. Sir, my heartfelt thanks to you for giving an excellent coverage on importance of patent and startup. We also thank our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Vijayta Shetty, Anupama Bali Ma'am, and Anuja Narvankar Ma'am, Dr. Tangadurai Sir, and Rubina Gonzalez Ma'am for giving us this platform for conducting this successful event. I would like to thank our audience for coordinating throughout this session. Lastly, my heartfelt thanks to all Meraki pre-incubation and incubation team members for this event, for making this event a great success.
Hello. Thank you, Ravina, for the sweet vote of thanks. Now I would request Neha to please introduce our speaker, Mr. Puneet sir.
Start.
Good morning, everyone. Arise, awake, and do not stop until the goal is achieved. I, Sneha Nadar, on behalf of our Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center, consider it as a great honor to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi, for today's session. I heartily welcome you all. I also extend my warm welcome to our Honorable Principal of Vivek College of Commerce, Dr. Vijeta Shetty ma'am. I also welcome our invited faculties, Anuja Naronkar ma'am, Anupama Bali ma'am, Dr. Tamudarai sir, and Lubina Gonsalves ma'am for this session. I would like to welcome our students for this session. Now I would like to invite Madhya Sheikh to please take over the session.
Hello everyone, a very good morning. I am Madhya Sheikh. I am here to give an introduction on Vivek College of Commerce, Meraki, Reincubation and Incubation Center, and also our speaker, Mr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi. Vivek Education Society is a charitable institution set up in the year 1961 and established Vivek Vidyalaya in 1962 and followed it up by starting junior college. Vivek College of Commerce was started in the year 1986. It is recognized as a vibrant institution working continuously for the cause of education. Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center was firstly known as IIC, that is, Entrepreneurship Center. It was started on 11th December 2018 and later got developed into Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center in 20th December 2021. Vivek College of Commerce is the first college in Maharashtra to inaugurate an incubation center under MITSC, that is, Maharashtra Information Technology Support Center. We have registered ourselves under Ministry of Education and Institution Innovation Council, in which we have successfully completed and approved all our quarter 1 and 2 activities. Under IIC, we also have automatically lab scheme in which we do mapping in different schools. Let us now hear about Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi, Professor and Group Director of Modern Group of Institutions. He is also Chief Advisor and Mentor at Modern Incubator at MIPS, Indore, and the Chief Executive Officer at Atal Incubation Center, Prestige Inspire Foundation. He speaks on various topics such as management incubation in India, incubations, and startups. He is also an editorial member at AE International Journal of Multidisciplinary Research, International Journal of Financial Management, International Journal of Marketing and Business Communication, etc. He was also a chairperson at Central India Management Conclave and International Conference on Rural Development on 5th April 2014 at Nagpur. Now I would like Dr. Puneet to please take over.
Very good morning. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Very good morning and welcome to the journey of entrepreneurship. I thank Vivek College of Commerce and Meraki, the Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center, Madam Dr. Shetty, Dr. Bali, organizers of this event, the Impact Lecture Series under the aegis of IIC Ministry of Education, Institute Innovation Council, and the team members of IIC of Vivek College of Commerce. So very wonderful good morning to you all. This is really a matter of pride when our youth is involved in entrepreneurship and they are planning for their own startups. Like just now you have listened to the expert who was, I think he was talking about the patents and how one can file patent, how intellectual property right works, what is the importance of IP in startups, and how youth can contribute through collaborations and mark a dent in the universe. So this is the really very entrepreneurship is very important subject, very important activity, and it is need of our, and being youth of the nation, it is duty of you all to contribute in nation building activities. Coming to entrepreneurship, I will directly, I will not give any presentation to you, just I will talk to you on few points, and you have to listen those points very carefully. In the journey of entrepreneurship, when it comes to starting any venture, the first thing which comes to your mind is whether I will survive or not. Maybe it can be a very risky venture. I don't know whether I can run this business or not, or I don't know up to what extent, till what time I can run this organization. There are many issues. There are many, thoughts generally comes to mind, and they also divert you. In some cases, we have found that students in their college life, they have initiated, but after they have left those ventures and they are again struggling in their lives. Friends, it is up to you that how you are taking this as the challenge. I remember a very beautiful story of a bird which was struggling, and finally she achieved, or she was able to convince people in the ecosystem. Likewise, you have to contribute a lot, you have to struggle a lot. And here in this ecosystem of the startup, we have people who are helping, and we are seeing that India is growing like anything. We are generating startups, we are generating good business also. We are having, billion, trillion economy we are planning for the country. And this is only possible if the youth of the country is going to participate in this nation building activity and doing their own startups. So I will come to the story first, because my story, or you can say this entrepreneurship journey, starts from this very beautiful story of a bird. So I think students, those who are sitting here, they can understand some part of Hindi also, because the story, when we are communicating, if it is communicated in Hindi or any regional language, it can mark, great presence and put great impact on your mind. So in some ways, I will try to communicate in English, but here if some words are very important too, and they can, they can be easily understandable in Hindi, but not in English. I will try to, narrate in Hindi in the few lines. So this is the story of a bird, which were it was wandering here and there, and she found one grain piece, and she went to one of the machine where she tried to, उसको टुकड़े टुकड़े करना चाहती थी वो, for his for her, or maybe for her family, that everyone can share equally. मशीन में दसे दाने को डालने के बाद से ऐसा हुआ कि दाने का आधा टुकड़ा मशीन में रह गया, and remaining half part came out. The bird was not happy with that. Now from here, the journey of entrepreneurship starts, because it was her own effort. Through her hard work, she got that, and she wanted full. But it was the 50% of the grain stuck in the machine. She was not happy. She tried to convince the machine operator, but he refused. He said, "Okay, जाओ चिड़िया, तुमसे क्या कर लोगी, जो मिला लेके जाओ." But the bird was not happy. She went to the king and she requested, "O king, you are the savior. You are our guide. are our master. Please talk to that machine operator. I need my share anyhow because it was my hard work. And he refused that he will not give. King also refused. Said, no, why should I? This machine operator is very important. He is processing all the grains for the Raj Mahal also. And he's very, very important to me. Why should I punish him because of you? Then she went to the queen, requested the queen, give divorce to this fellow king. He is not eligible. He is not supporting his people. I am in trouble. The queen also refused. Why? Because you are a small bird. For you, how can I divorce my husband, the king of this kingdom? Then she went to snake and requested snake to bite the queen. Snake also refused. She went to जो लाठी होती है मोटी वाली, उस लाठी के पास गई, the wooden. She requested that wooden stick to hit the snake. He also refused. Then she went to the fire to burn the wooden stick. Fire also refused. Then she went to water और कहा कि आप आग को बुझा दो. Water also refused. Then she went to elephant कि पूरे पानी को सोख जाओ, पी जाओ. Elephant also refused. Then she went to जो बड़ी जाल होती है, नेट होती है, कि हाथी को फंसाओ. Jal also refused. Net also refused. Then she went to mice, the mouse, चूहे के पास गई कि जाल को कुतरो. Mice also refused. See the level of commitment of the bird. And then she reached to cat. I requested her to eat the mice. And here the cat was, hungry. And she said, yes, I will eat the mice. And from here, the whole story changed. So the level of commitment of the bird, you can see, she started from the very beginning, and the path was very, very tough, crossing the king, queen, snake, wooden stick, the river, the fire, the elephant, the net, the cat, mice. Finally, when she reached to the cat, and she got the solution. And cat said, yes, I will eat the mice. And then mice was surprised. Mice said, no, don't eat me. I will cut this net. Net also surprised. He said, no, don't cut me. I will, मैं फंसा लूंगा हाथी को. I will try. Then elephant refused. Don't do that. I will drink the water. I will drink the water. No problem. Water said, don't drink me. I will, मैं इस आग को बुझा दूंगा. यही problem है. I will do that. Then the fire said, no, don't do that. I will burn the stick. Stick said, don't burn me. I will hit the snake. Snake said, मुझे मेरी जान छोड़ दो, बख्श दो मुझे. I will bite the queen. It is my passion to biting people. Queen said, no, life is more important. I will divorce the king. King said, why you beautiful? Why you are divorcing me? I will, he is very common man and just he is working for us. I will punish him. No problem. The machine operator requested the king, dear sir, don't punish me. I will do the needful. I will provide the grain part to the bird. And finally, bird got her, the portion which was left. So this is the level of commitment required if you are planning your own startup. You have to cross many people, more struggle, but finally you will reach the success if you are fully committed from within. That is the thing that one has to keep in mind. So in the journey of entrepreneurship, generally people say, oh, it is risk-bearing activity actually. When we are joining the colleges, as a student, our parents, they are much more, concerned about the placements. And when they are paying the fee, they are asking the teacher or the admission team that, yes, what is the placement package? Nobody is asking whether you are providing the startup opportunity to the wards, whether my students, my ward will get the opportunity to learn how to start our own startup. No. So there is a change in mindset required in the current ecosystem. Like when you are talking about your institution, I heard that you are also having the ATL, Adult Tinkering Lab, in the schools. So the ecosystem is now properly going on. It is now, you can say, nourishing very nicely. We have very nice ecosystem from school to college and even beyond that. At the school, through ATLs, we can create that mindset among students for innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. When they are coming to college, like today we are discussing thing in IIC, Institute Innovation Council of Vivek College of Commerce. So here the team of IIC is sitting. Maybe some students who are interested in startup activities are participating in this event. Faculties who are planning their own patents, who are planning their own startups, they're also sitting here, maybe. And we are discussing on the entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem in the country and how one can collaborate, how one can contribute. In the colleges, after this IIC, there is one more initiative government has started. That is AIC, Atal Incubation Center, or you can say ACIC, Atal Community Incubation Centers. There's one more funding opportunity available for the faculty, those who are listening to this program, from the TBI, Technology-Based Incubator, through NIDHI, DST, Department of Science and Technology. So through incubation centers in your colleges, after this IIC, the next level is incubation. So if any innovative idea comes to you, to your brain, that means this idea is important and it can be workable. क्योंकि ऐसा कोई विचार, ऐसा कोई आइडिया हमारे मन में नहीं आ सकता है जो होता ही नहीं हो या जो हो ही नहीं सकता. We are made by the same pancha the pancha tattvas, and the same ecosystem we are growing. So हमारे मन में, ब्रेन में वही चीज आएगी जो इस पंच तत्व में, इस ब्रह्मांड में है, उसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं आएगी. So if something, some idea comes to your brain, that means it is workable idea. Timing may be vary. Maybe it is not right time to start the startup, but when it comes to your brain, that means this idea is workable. And this can be a wonderful idea. So please note down ideas. When some idea comes to your mind, maybe midnight, उठ के लिख लीजिए उसको, क्योंकि सुबह तक वो भूल जाएगा. आप एक घंटे तो सोचें कि it was very nice idea, but I'm not able to recall what was the idea. And that is most pathetic thing in our life. When we are not writing ideas, we are not contributing on those ideas. That means we are not contributing in nation building activities. Work on those ideas. One more very important thing when we are talking about the startup ecosystem, one important term comes to our mind, that is risk. In placements, we are safe. But in entrepreneurship, in startup ecosystem, there's a much risk. And one more thing, entrepreneurship is totally informal. It is very informal activity. It is not formal activity. You cannot say that like we can run the classes for 1 hour and we can teach this entrepreneurship. You can guide entrepreneurship. We cannot teach entrepreneurship. It comes from within actually. We have to orient students. We have to orient people who are working in the startup ecosystem. Nowhere it is written that only students can start the startup. There can be a mix of teachers and students, both can gel well properly and they can start. I'm running many startups. I am funding also many startups. I am also partner in many startups of my own students. I am earning also. I am also professor. So it is all about the mindset, that how you are involved in the activity. Like we have seen, the bird was very much involved. She wanted her share. And for that share, she has taken all the risk. उसको किंग के पास जाने में डर भी नहीं लगा, शर्म भी नहीं आया, एक छोटे दाने के लिए। वो जो क्वीन से बात करती है तो ये भूल जाती है कि हस्बैंड वाइफ है, तो बोलती है उसको छोड़ दो, डाइवोर्स दे। कितना बड़ा डिसीजन, कितना बड़ा स्टेटमेंट दे रही है वो। It means when we are approaching any venture capitalist or any person who is providing the funds for our startup, we should be that much of ready to present our case and to ask for the money. That level is required. You should not hide behind, I'm not going to ask. One of my partner will ask. No, you have to ask. You have to be ready for that. It is your own baby. You have to groom that baby. You have to take care of that baby. And if it is not important to you, that means you are not bothering about it at all. Like the bird. If she said, okay, let it go. 50% left, no problem. I have 50%, no, I am happy. She was not happy. And once she is happy or satisfied, she cannot grow. Likewise, same is for you. If you are happy and satisfied, what you are having, you cannot grow. In the startup ecosystem, there should be always thrust, hunger for becoming great, for contributing a lot, for expanding our business, for adding more products, for adding more values, for increasing the turnover, involved in some innovative marketing practices. So they are the thing that is to be, it is an ongoing process, and you have to get involved in those activities for a long time. So that risk is just a term, but if you are involved, okay, let's suppose risk is everywhere. आप पैदा होते हुए मर गए होते, but still you are alive. थोड़े बड़े हुए, रोड साइड में खेल रहे थे, कोई गाड़ी आती, एक्सीडेंट हो जाता, आपकी डेथ हो जाती, but still you are alive. You are watching this, attending this program. लेकिन you are alive, that means you have successfully, you are bearing the risk. Every day you are coming to college, going home safely, there is no problem. That means you are managing the risk. You have taken calculated risk. I'm not saying that you take risk. You take risk, but you take calculated risk. ऐसा नहीं कि हम सांड के आगे खड़े हो गए, बोले नहीं मारेगा, लाल कपड़ा पहन के खड़े हैं उसके सामने, और वो आएगा तो मैं उसको पटक दूंगी या पटक दूंगा, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. This is not calculated risk. Take risk, but take calculated risk. The best example from Ramayana, when Mr. Hanumana was on his mission to Lanka. I hope you all remember the case. He never been to Lanka, like you never done any startup, but you are planning. He never been to Lanka, but he decided to go to Lanka. Why? There was one person called Jamwant. He was the motivator. He was the mentor of the startup or mentor of the entrepreneur. He guided him. He has given some insights to him. Yes, you can do wonders. You have that potential. My dear Hanuman, you can do. You can apply your skill and knowledge. You can take calculated risk. You can go there. You can do market survey. You can find the object Sita. Then you can come back. You can communicate the same to your CEO, Mr. Ram. Then he will take the decision that how to grab that market, how to reach that market, how to explore that market. But you are here as the brand ambassador or you are here as a marketer, you are going for the market survey. And when he was traveling, remember the case, go to the Ramayana period. When he was traveling, he has faced some troubles. Like initially he met a lady demon called Surasa. Have you heard about Surasa? सुना है आप लोगों ने? Yes, okay. So when he met Surasa, Surasa is a type of, he actually made 3 hurdles. And even in business, in today's context also, there are majorly 3 hurdles in the businesses. So the first hurdle was human hurdle. She was human and she was very huge. And when he interacted with Surasa, she said there is one business condition. Shartein lagu, condition apply. And what was that condition? If you are planning to go to Lanka, there is one condition, you have to enter into my mouth. If you are coming safe outside, you can move. Because I am blessed that there is business condition. Brahma has given me कि तुम्हारे मुंह में जाके बाहर आए बिना कोई लंका जा नहीं पाएगा. He said, okay, let's discuss. Then there is a conversation between both. And what was the level of conversation? Both are telling about the market size of their bosses, their companies. Sursa is saying, Lanka is too big. He is saying, my boss kingdom is also too big. क्योंकि कितना बड़ा है, वो कभी इतना बड़ा मुंह फैलाती है. जस जस सुरसा बदन बढ़ावा, तास दून कपि रूप दिखावा. It is written in the Ramcharitmanas, Sundarkand. So Sursa has expanded her mouth, and he became double of that. खूब बड़ा मुंह खोल दिया, तो फट तो छोटे हो गए, उसको मैं एंटर किया, बाहर आ गया. Business condition fulfilled successfully. And though she was the demon, she also had the ethical values. She allowed him to go. वो चाहती तो नहीं जाने देती. हम तो उसको राक्षसी बोलते हैं, but she was not राक्षसी. The business condition he has fulfilled, and she allowed him to go to explore the market. The second layer, the second hurdle for the entrepreneur. When he moved from Sursa to next level, again there was one lady demon. I don't know why they're all lady demons. She was Singhini, and she was the radar system of Lanka. That means the technology was involved. Earlier the human was involved, then second layer technology was involved. और उसका कहना ये था कि वो परछाई देख करके पानी में खींच लेती थी. कोई ऊपर से कूड़ा, परछाई देखकर नीचे उसको खींचेगा. Radar system of Lanka. There was no time to discuss actually. कि हमारे मार्केट साइज इतना है, तुम्हारा मार्केट साइज कितना है. It was not like that. Just there was act. क्योंकि वो तो नीचे खींच रही थी, वहां पे मार डालती. टेक्नोलॉजी था. टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या होता है, इमोशंस नहीं होते हैं. ह्यूमन के पास इमोशंस है, वो समझ सकती है. सुरसा समझ गई और ये हम्बली बोला, ओ मदर लेट मी गो. शी सेड ओके बेटा यू कैन गो. बट वहां तो ये मौका नहीं मिलेगा. सिंगिनी वाज मशीन से आप रिक्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं कि हे कंप्यूटर जी, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हैं कि मेरा डेटा पूरा उड़ गया है, आप लेके आइए. नहीं ला सकता. So he has to act. एक घूसा उसको मारा and she died. Less time, but act. पहले क्या था, conversation. You have to converse with the people. When you are planning for your startup, you have to converse with the people. Generally people आपसे बात नहीं करेंगे ठीक से, but you have bird. The bird जिससे involved थी, वैसे सुरसा से रिक्वेस्ट किया, प्लीज बात करो मेरे से, आई विल कन्विंस यू. बट वहां पे कन्विंस नहीं करना, वहां पे यू हैव टू टैकल द केस. एंड देन द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग स्किल ऑफ द बी ऑलवेज अलर्ट. ही एक्टेड देयर बिकॉज ही हैज टू मूव नेक्स्ट लेवल. नेक्स्ट लेवल पे गए तो कौन मिला, द लंकिनी, अगेन थर्ड लेडी डेमन. लेडी डेमन इसलिए होता है क्योंकि शक्ति जो होता है वो लेडी के पास ही होती है. इसलिए हमारे यहाँ देवताओं में भी शक्ति को पूजा जाता है. तो शक्ति पॉजिटिव हो सकती है, शक्ति निगेटिव हो सकती है, बट शक्ति शक्ति होती है ना. महिला शक्ति ही कहा जाता है, पुरुष शक्ति नहीं कहा जाता है. So he met another, the third, at the very close gate of the Lanka. Lankini was standing there. She was also blessed. उसका ये था कि वहां से उसकी नजरों से कोई बच नहीं सकता है. If somebody is planning to enter into Lanka, it is impossible. So, and when you are very close to your market, very close to your competitor market, you cannot create nuisance. ये भी ध्यान रखना है. आपने 2 hurdle पार कर लिया है. This is the very close hurdle. Now you are about to enter into the market to study the market. वहां पे न्यूसेंस नहीं क्रिएट करना कि इतना बड़ा मार्केट शेयर, उतना बड़ा मार्केट शेयर, ये घूसा मारना नहीं कर सकते हैं. Very silently you have to act. So what he did, मसक समान रूप कपिधरी. It is written in सुंदरकांडा. मसक समान रूप कपिधरी. मच्छर की साइज, जो मॉस्किटो होता है ना, मॉस्किटो के साइज के छोटे हो गए, लंका ही चले सुमरी नरहरी. भगवान का नाम लेते हुए लंका में एंटर करते, छोटे हो गए. That means when you are very close to your target or competitor market, don't do nuisance, just enter anyhow. So these are 3 different strategies to converse with the people and convince them, to act where technology is involved, and sometimes escape. Don't create nuisance, don't show your presence, just enter into the market, study the market, study the market conditions, study about the competitor's strength, analyze your weakness, see the opportunity and your strength, that how you can grab this market, the SWOT analysis you all know, SWOT. Then analyze the market, and he did same thing, and he went and he communicated to his boss. So risk is everywhere, but you have to find one good mentor like Jamwant, who can guide you, who can handhold you, who can nurture you, and who can always stand with you for any odd situation in your startup. So you have to find some mentor also. So that is all the risk-bearing thing that one have to keep in mind. But don't take risk, take calculated risk only. Next thing for startup generally comes funding. Seed fund is provided by the government. There are many plans and policies. If you will provide some email ID, I will share the detail of all that after the presentation. After this session, I will provide you that what are the agencies which are providing funding to initiators, or you can say the people who are starting the startup first time. The seed fund is available. Up to what extent it is available? There are many CSR funds available. And who is the right person to approach, and how you can make your own presentation to present your case. That is also very, very important. So I will discuss on that. I will share that point to you, and how we can attract venture capitalists, how angel investors are more important and they can contribute a lot, how one can become the partner in equity and contribute in your startup as a friend, or you can see the partner. So they are the things that we have to keep in mind. But before that, where you are located, look for some local social issues. And based on those social issues, plan some startup. If you are located in Maharashtra, I don't know which area you are located exactly, but in that area, you can find many opportunities where you can do your own startups. I am located in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Indore is the cleanest city of India. Since last 5 years, we are #1. And I proudly say that I am the brand ambassador of such Indore mission of government of Madhya Pradesh. And since last 5 years, I am contributing for the Swachhata. I also developed one e-learning module for the people. You can find me on Google, Dr. Puneet Dwivedi, brand ambassador Swachh Indore. I am also awarded by CM, Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, for developing the e-learning module for the city, for the citizens and for the officials also. So here we have found one local problem, that the clean tech ideas, clean tech problems, clean tech solutions. and students are working, engineering students are working on clean tech ideas, that how we can contribute in this mission through our ideas. So this is a local problem actually. Actually, it is a national problem, but for Indore, it's a local problem. So students, those who are pursuing their engineering, civil engineering, computer science, they are working on many, clean tech ideas, clean tech startups in the city, and we are supporting the municipal corporation for the Swachh Bharat mission. Likewise, you can also find what is the local problem and how you can collab with the local government and contribute. That is, this is more important thing that we have to keep in mind. Yes. Another thing is we can discuss on the ideas. This is the very a platform where all students are sitting with different ideas, maybe different mindset, different startup ideas. Here we cannot guide each one because they may have their different segments. So we can plan something like that for each startup, for each idea. If you want to discuss with me, we can virtually also I can talk to you and on the startup specific with your area of concern where you are working. You might be working on the computer applications ideas or IT ideas, clean tech, maybe food tech, maybe agri tech, maybe fintech. So there can be any idea you are working on. So that especially we can exclusively we can work on that, and we can talk to each one of you in future if you wish to do that. Second thing is attend boot camps, entrepreneurship related boot camps, or you can say kickstart events you can attend. So many organizations are organizing this kickstart activities where they are providing all type of startup related assistance to the students, those who are planning to have their own startups. Work on design thinking, which is very important. Like I told you, you have to search for the local problems and you have developed solution for the local problems. For that, design thinking is very important. So you have to be very much ready for design thinking of your own startup, design thinking of any problem, and that can solution for that problem, resources, how we can develop or how we can avail from the local ecosystem, and most importantly, the business model canvas. Business model canvas you have to prepare for your own startup. There are 9 very important things of business model canvas. You can Google it. You can find it. What is business model canvas? And for your startup, for your ideas, try to fill that business model canvas. That from what are the resources, what is the problem, who will be the key partners, how I will get the funds, who will be the team members. Likewise, in the business model canvas, a very huge page, take a printout on A3 size or A2 size, a huge size, and then fill the whole business model canvas, and then discuss with your mentor. Then there will be clarity that we are planning for next 5 years, we are planning for next 3 years, we are planning for next 2 years. So this is most important thing before starting any startup. One have to keep in mind. So develop and try to fill your business model canvas and work on it, and that will be the more most important thing for any startup and startup idea also. One more very important thing, the co-working thing is very important. Suppose I am having the idea, but I am sitting alone and I am discussing, I am just surfing on the Google, I am finding somewhere on the Google, and I am discussing with myself, reading through system. Don't do that. Please develop a co-working space in your college. If you have, then there is no problem. You have incubation center. If you have the incubation center or pre-incubation facility, so sit in the co-working. IT guy, the finance guy, like the team member of CFO, CMO, CHO, CEO. You can build your own team, chief operating officer, COO, CTO, and make a team and sit in the team, because the technical people can guide you in technical aspects. Everyone don't have all the knowledge of technical competencies and financial knowledge and operational knowledge and HR related issues. Everyone don't know. So you have to mingle with people with different expertise. So in the co-working space, in the co-working area, discuss with them, and then you will come to the conclusion, you will get the solution and you will get oriented that how technology is going to support you. If you are a pure commerce guy, you don't have the knowledge about the technology, but if you have in your college somebody is there who has the IT background or technology background, you can get mingle with those fellows and discuss about your idea. So this co-working is very, very, very important. Alone you cannot do, but you have to have the expert people in your team, and that thing that you have to keep in mind. So that's all from my side. If you have any specific question related to startup ecosystem, that if you are working on some startup and you have any idea and you want to, if you have any problem and you want to discuss with me, you can ask some questions. If you want to know that where the startup opportunities, how many startup opportunities are available for the students, I can tell you, or we can have question on that also, or any other problem or query related to startups you can ask. So over to the team IIC of Vivek College of Commerce, over to the entrepreneurs, the future entrepreneurs of the country, dear students. Now you can ask questions. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Anuja Nadwankar from IIC, Vivek College of Commerce. I'm the faculty member of Vivek College of Commerce, heading the pre-incubation and incubation center here in Vivek College. And I really welcome you for this session today. It was a really resourceful, sir. And आपने जो ज्ञान दिया, आपने जो connect किया बच्चों को रामायण और entrepreneurship से, वो बहुत ही प्रशंसनीय था, sir. Thank you so much. कि आज के बच्चों को ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि हमारे roots कहाँ तक थे, हम कहाँ से origin हो रहे हैं. And on this occasion, I really appreciate that my students are overwhelmed with the knowledge what you have shared today, sir. My first question, sir, to you is that we are now in pre-incubation stage, and we have incubating with us, but we are not able to, he wants knowledge about seed funding and about angel investing. So will you just guide? Actually, we have already had a session on BMC and design thinking, and we want to get more knowledge on this particular aspect of seed funding and how, as an incubation center, we can have a tie-up with other incubation centers as well and other funding resources.
If you are connected to any incubation center, you will get the idea from them, because at the pre-incubation level, generally angel investors don't come. And you have to work with the incubation only, because the incubation centers are having some funds for the pre-incubation facilities. So they are, though they are the full-fledged incubators, they are not, they cannot use that fund. So they have to help someone or some pre-incubation level or organizations, and they can support. Like here in Indore, I brought the first IIC from the government. It is 10 CR project, IIC Atal Incubation Center. So we got the grant from the government for 10 CR, and for the pre-incubation facilities, we are guiding institutions who are planning for the incubation center, getting incubation centers. So it is like a nurturing stage. So the incubation center, which is very near to you, maybe might be government funded or private incubators, so they can be the great support for you. And you cannot move here and there, because for the pre-incubation facilities, the closest, the nearest incubation is liable, and they have to help them. So it is a policy actually, and there are many organizations, many institutions in this in our ecosystem, and even I have seen NCR ecosystem, in Bangalore ecosystem. They are working in Coimbatore ecosystem. They are nearby incubator is supporting pre-incubation phase organization. So you have to approach them, and they are having the co-working spaces also. So students from Vivek College of Commerce, they can take one, some seats they are providing on some very minimal rent of rupees 1,000 per month, like why. So in the co-working space, you can take some space, because there are many students or many startups in that particular incubation center. They are working, they are incubated there, their offices are situated there, they are actually staying there. So when our student will go there to see the the environment, to see how startups are working in the incubation center, they will get the practical idea. So that visit is more important, and you can take the seats there. Like if you are planning to take 4 students are planning to go, or you can shift them also. Initially 4 students will go for 3-4 days, then another team will go for 3-4 days, for another team will go for 3-4 days. So you can take the seats on rent from them. Like if you are taking 4 seats, so you have to pay 4,000 rupees per month. And students or incubatees from your pre-incubation stage, they can visit the incubation center. They can go there, they can sit there, they can see the things going on there. They can analyze, they can meet entrepreneurs, they can meet startup owners, they can discuss things with them, they can note it down, and then they can come and they can discuss with you also. So this is the process actually that we have to develop and we have to follow. Otherwise, in the same our own institution, you cannot do all these things. Either you can you can develop your own incubation center with the 10,000 or 20,000 square feet of area, with co-working space, with workstations, with recreation rooms, and likewise you have to develop own setup. So better you first you approach the nearby incubation center and take some seat for 1 month. Send your students to understand the process, and then they can come, they can guide the remaining students in the campus, and then the incubation phase will start. So this is the process that we have to follow. If there is any Atal incubation center nearby you, you can tell me. I will connect you with those AIC. मैं करा दूंगा connect आपको.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this input, sir. And as you rightly said that we have to tie up with the nearby incubation center. We are in process as well with KJ Somia Institute. We have already visited the incubation center, and we have come down to that we will sign MOE tie up to have our incubation center, use their incubation centers. Thank you so much for this input, and I think we will meet future as well with this. In future also, we will have a collaboration with you. You share a lot of knowledge about entrepreneurship and incubation center as well. So, on the last question from my side, that as an incubator in charge of pre-incubation center, what role should I play as of now? What actually the steps I should take in for incubation center development?
Incubation centers are facilitators. They are the facility center for the startups or the students who are coming up with the startup ideas. You can assist them, you can connect them with the right people. Because if I am the incubator, I'm the CEO of one of the incubator, I'm not having all the competencies. I cannot technically work. Financially, I can work. I have because I'm from the finance background. So I know the financial things, but technically I'm not so much sound. So what I can do, I can connect the student or the student entrepreneur with the person who is working in the ecosystem and very well-known technical guy. So it is all about the networking also. So being a pre-incubation phase or incubation center, what you have to do, you have to do networking with the people who are needed for the startup ecosystem. Like you have to do networking with the technical people, you have to do networking with the financial people, chartered accountants, advocates, and funding agencies also, venture capitalists, angel investors, or any private fund, those who are providing. Mentors also. So make a pool of all these. Like you can call one meeting for mentors. Identify mentors in your local ecosystem. People who are working on, if somebody is working on agri-tech idea or he is a very good agriculturist, call him as the mentor in your board. Then if some of your student or running any agri-tech idea, दोनों को साथ में बिठा दीजिए. Then they will do the, we are, incubators are the facilitators who are providing or who are connecting startups with the needed, services. Like if they need technical guy, CTO, you have to find somebody. If they need any seed fund or any funding they are looking for, you have to connect with them, the venture capitalists. Call some venture capitalists or people who are providing funds in the ecosystem. Have one conversation with your own student, or you can plan a meeting of venture capitalists, meeting of mentors, meeting of advocates, meeting of chartered accountants, meeting of company secretaries, meeting of startups, meeting of startup owners, CEOs. Likewise, you can plan many meetings in your college. Just be the venue partner. Ask your student to sit there, and you can plan some topic as per your need, and then they will talk. They will plan some group discussion sort of thing or panel discussion where they can give their views, note it down. So, and then they will come to know that Vivek College of Commerce is doing great in the startup ecosystem, and there are many students who are having wonderful ideas because they are interacting with us also, they are asking questions also. So they will try to help, or they will connect you with somebody else. So it is all about the networking thing. So the being a manager of incubation or pre-incubation facility, or being the CEO of the incubation center or pre-incubation center, it is your duty to have great networking with the all stakeholders of startup ecosystem and make them available for our students for nurturing their own startups. Clear?
Thank you so much, sir. And you have really opened our eyes and एक दिशा दिखाई है आपने कि हमें अभी आगे कैसे बढ़ना है. Thank you so much, sir. And with this, I will request Ravina to give formal vote of thanks.
Good morning, one and all present. I, Ravina Jain, deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this event on behalf of Vivek College of Commerce. I take this opportunity to propose a humble thanks to all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to our session organized by Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center of Vivek College of Commerce. At the outset, I wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to our chief guest, keynote speaker, Dr. Puneet Kumar Trivedi, for accepting an invitation and giving us your valuable time. Sir, my heartfelt thanks to you for giving an excellent coverage on entrepreneurship. We also thank our respected principal ma'am, Dr. Vijeta Shetty, Anupama Bali ma'am, Anuja Narvankar ma'am, Dr. Tangadurai sir, and Lubina Gonsalves ma'am for giving us the platform for conducting this successful event. I would like to thank our audience for coordinating throughout this session. Lastly, my heartfelt thanks to all Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation team members.
Best wishes to Meraki team. Thank you so much, Vivek College of Commerce.
On this note, we end the session here today. Thank you so much.